Recording. Okay, all right. So like, because when we are not like in session, how we can communicate to each other, what kind of task I'm going to assign you. I'm audible enough? I can, like, you can please let me know. All right. So so because we are planning to discuss the project of Google, so it is very important you to create your IRC account, and we can link that IRC account into your number of places where you can contribute with any open source related technology. All right. So second thing, how we are going to communicate here, we are using an real world application that is known as Riot. So please everybody make sure that you are done with the installation part of Riot, and by using this, we, that means you people and I, can communicate to each other. So this is the application you need to install. So the interface of Riot, let me Google it for you, how we are going to. So it must be for Android and both things. So it is basically for the communication purpose. Technically, that is completely free for iPhone user and Android user also. So you can download the particular application, and here when you download this application, you can log in into this app by using your some username, email ID and the password, right? And when you log in into this particular application, there must be a sign of plus, right? So you need to click on this particular sign, and when you click on this particular sign, you will find three options over there, and out of all those three options, you need to select the option where something will be written like this: join a room. That means it will be something like this: join a room. And when you select this, it will ask for the room ID, right? So the room ID you are going to assign here, that is hashtag ad hoc colon matrix .org, right? So this will be the room ID where you can join us. So if I can check my phone as of now, you can just do it online. In case if you face any problem, you can let me know hand to hand. So because I'm having this application currently connected, and few peoples already are in this room also. All right. So here I can see that Rudra is there, and the Singi and YA, number of users are there. So yes, we can have here so 2-3 members are there here, around maybe 4-5. So that means everything about Python project and whatever we are going to discuss in future, it is going to manage by you and me. So here you can join the same thing. Is all these steps whatever I have discussed to you is perfectly okay for everyone? That means you can just give me a yes message from chat box that this is visible and it makes sense for you all. Alright, okay, so I want just a confirmation message from your side. Yes, Pushpendra is saying yes. Okay, so that means you are going to install this application as well, and where you need to follow these steps, right? So the application is named RIOT, that is Riot or Riot, whatever you call it. So it is going to like be very much specific for this particular chat box. All right, so I can expect that everybody please join this application group where we are inviting more people from somewhere also. So the main part is that please note it down, this thing, hashtag ad hoc matrix.org. all right, and make sure you can find this plus option. So okay, all right, so it's done now. Because we was discussing about the Python thing in last few days back, and that was only one lecture which was conducted. I guess I have given you some basic idea about Python data types. That was, I guess, we have discussed with the tuple and list. That was the main part. So now because we are planning Python in very much big and extensive level, so I'm just defining the today topic here. First of all, we have Python 2 and we have Python 3. So we are going to cover two things today for Python 3 especially, right? It's 100% object oriented language, so we are going to use this language with our existing Linux or any other platform. So I'm using this particular so today we are going to discuss about Python dead code analysis, right? So it's a new topic for the people who really doesn't have the good programming background. So in reality, this is one of the big topics generally we need in companies, and here we are going to like start this. So all right, it's visible and audible for everybody. Pushpendra is asking, sir, can we download this app in Linux? Yes, because Android is Linux, but in generally I never use this in Linux based scenario. But yes, Riot can be used by web browser, I guess, so you can cross check the same thing. We don't need actually platform, so inside browser you can use this particular application, right? So done. Okay, great. So today the topic we are going to discuss about, that is dead code analysis in Python 2 and Python 3. So let me write a very differential code for this, but because you have a number of audience as of now, so who can like tell me the exact thing about the dead code in any programming language? Just input from your side. If anybody like having any idea or good idea about the input thing, so what is dead code analysis in any programming language? I'm not talking about Python only, in any programming language, if you have the idea about dead code analysis. So especially the people who are really in programming these days, you can tell me about this. Anybody, like any inputs for dead code analysis? Alright, so fine. I'm like going to explain this. What is dead code actually? When you write a program, let me write it for you. So a program currently I'm having here. So I'm writing one program, and the program name is like let me make one directory for this, DevOps, and I'm going into this particular directory. I'm writing a program. It doesn't matter what text editor you are using. You can use gedit or maybe Notepad or maybe any other editor. So I'm using gedit as of now, and code.py because we are using Python 3. So let me define it in my current scenario. You can define the version of Python programming language starting of the file. And now what my code is, it's x equals to, let's say, 100, and I'm using Python 3, so I need to use print function like this, and let's say hello world. Alright, so these are the like few things I am using. Alright, so when I close this particular program, if I want to check this, if I'm going to run this particular program by using code.py, it is giving me the answer like this. Now, because we are learning the topic that is dead code analysis, removal of, okay, Anand Kaur is saying that the removal of the code which don't affect the output. Okay, alright, quite good. Even the removal or the analysis of the code which we are not using actually. It doesn't matter it is affecting output or not, but obviously if it is not using. So right now the code is saying x equals to 100 and print hello world. That means in this complete scenario we are not using x, just defined but not using. Alright, so in this particular scenario, if somebody is going to like analyze that what is your code, probably I will show that code to the person, and he's going to ask me that what is the use of x in this particular scenario, because we have written these things also but we are not using this, just only right here. So in this case we don't need this line actually. So if there are some programs or there are some things in the real world scenario which can analyze the mistakes like this, and we have written it unnecessarily and remove this particular part of code, or even you can notify your own programming skills. So this is called the dead code analysis. So we have one dead code, that means we have written but we are not using. Alright, so if I'm going to use some Python based dead code analysis, so we have really amazing tools for dead code analysis. Especially Python 2 and Python 3 have number of tools, but as of now we are using Python 3, and for Python 3 we have one really amazing dead code analysis tool, that is Firefly. It's amazing for Python 3 and 2 both, and the most popular generally people use this, that is vulture. So it's like going to be in this way, that this is the tool that is generally used for dead code analysis. And number of options we have, I think we also have PyCheck, fine. So we have pie checker also, and that is specially designed for Python 2, right? So Firefly, Vulture, PyChicken, these are the tools. By using them you can analyze the dead code part. Alright, so I'm just expecting that everybody, you got that idea of dead code and the tools. I'm going to use this, but before this, make it very much crystal clear that you are getting what dead code is and why we need to analyze this. Because if we are not using some particular part of code, so we don't need to define even. Alright, so can I get a quick response from everybody in the chat box? You got that idea, or I need to repeat this again? So just for like a minute. Yes sir, Nikita saying yes sir, and the other people, Shubham also saying got it. Okay, alright, that means number of people, I agree. We have number of Shubham also. So the max people, Chetan is also saying like it's perfect, no problem. Yes, alright. So how we are going to, okay, Puspendra is saying that can you repeat this? Okay, no problem. So Puspendra, we have two options. If maximum people are agree, then you can go to YouTube channel of ours and subscribe also please, and you can analyze the same thing. Because in this particular scenario, what we have written this code where we have defined x, but we are not using anywhere this particular x variable. So for the one moment, I'm just giving one example. We have defined x, but we are not using. So we don't need this line actually. So analysis or finding out these kind of statement in our programming language is known as dead code, because this is defined but not being used by us. So this is dead code. So for this we have tool that is vulture, and if you do this, now if I'll hit enter, see unused variable x, and the confidence of vulture is around 60%, because we have very small line of code. So maybe probably in future we are going to use this. So the confidence level will be automatically increase whenever we are going to use the maximum more number of lines in this particular scenario. So that means the x thing is not being used but defined. So vulture is 100% confident. Alright, so you can use in this particular way as of now. Alright, so done like this. And how you are going to install vulture, it's very simple for Ubuntu based platform. If you are going to type it in your terminal, it will show you some method of pip install, and it's vulture. Alright, so this is how you can install. Otherwise you can Google it, whatever platform you are using. It's Ubuntu, Red Hat, everything. If you are logged in with root user already, don't need to use this sudo thing. So you can install this thing by using this particular format. Alright, so everybody clear? And you can please use number of options. We have pie checker also. So if I write the code in python2, pycode.py in python2 as well, x equals to 110, y equals to also like 40, z is equals to hello world, and print okay Google. So if you are going to use this, if you run this particular program, it is going to run, but PyChecker is the program which is going to have this. So it is saying that we have warnings, but it is not processed by particular thing. So we have processed warnings, we are not getting. So we need to specify some options actually to define what kind of things you want, like how many number of times on how many lines, and the level of debugging and everything, right? So we want to specify the deprecated thing, the missing parameters, or number of. So generally people are using vulture because we don't need to define anything. Otherwise you can use the same tool in same way. So I think the main idea is removal of unwanted and unnecessary code from your particular programming language is known as dead code removal or dead code analysis, right? And here we have introduced successfully the most powerful and used and user friendly tool by the company, by the people, that is vulture for Python 3. Alright, so rest the thing you can always use Google to go through that. Now one task that I'm assigning for you people, because the Python programming language basic things you can learn by own. Now how many of you are already aware about the web crawler? Because the task is really related to this. This was one of the project of Google's Summer of Code in Python by using some basic modules. So how many of you already aware about web crawler? You need to give me the definition if you know. I mean, you have only 1 minute max. So if you know about web crawler, please give your answer by typing. If you know, give your answers by typing. Okay, so I'm saying no, sir. Anybody if you want to give me the input. So alright, okay, I'm going to explain here. So the web crawler we need to design actually, because the task you are going to have in this particular scenario. What is web crawler? The first time when you create your own website, right, and your website have number of links, that means the one link to for image, another link for something else. So whenever somebody opening your website, how your web browser is knowing this website to be listed on Google on what ranking? That means if I'm searching something on Google, let me do it for you. If I'm searching for in Google, let's say Docker training in Jaipur, right? So I'm searching this. So we have our name here. So if you check here on the second website, second pages, first is Edureka, second is third me. So here we have this particular content. So like this, people are searching everywhere that what page should come here, what page should not come in this particular ranking. You can do the same thing by web crawler. That means whenever you hit for something to search, Google have one thing that is known as a web crawler, which is going to search your requested data into Google database. And Google database is created by these programs. The program which can crawl over the internet, receive the maximum thing or maximum information, and then search into Google database, then showing you the ranking of website or something or something or something. So that means this is the job role of web crawler, to capture your data, go to google.com, search in the database, list the website out, and if the particular keyword is not there, he can also go for some web server or website and crawl all the pages, how many website having what number of pages or something. So that means if it is a bit okay for you, so I'm giving you the hint that this is the product or program we are going to create in Python in future. All right, so can I calculate this? You people, I mean, have some idea as of now about the crawler, or you don't have? What you say? I'm just asking for my understanding purpose. I mean, do you understand the role of web crawler a bit or not? If you're not like able to understand, please, I mean, reply me on your chat box so that I can. Anand is saying like, yes sir, you got that point, understood a bit, yes, okay. So remaining people are really silent, I mean they don't want to type. Or okay, Reda says also yes sir, great for everyone. Okay, what is GSOC? Shubham Jobe, GOSC, no, it's GSOC, Google Summer of Code. Alright, so we'll implement through the text or knowledge graph. I mean, okay, that's also cool. So that means in maximum case you got that thing. Otherwise, when we are going to like create this particular web crawler by using Python programming, so we will be like discussing the same thing in future also. Why I'm giving this idea? Because when you go for this particular program, you need to define this in your real life also. So this is the web crawler is the program we are going to write in Python programming language as your first project. Alright, your first project. So this means the first project I have assigned, you have to start it, but it's up to you as of now because we are like on the second day. So you can use your own scenario, particular thing, to if you want to start it. Otherwise there is no problem as of now because we are having the, I mean, really less idea about the Python programming. Alright, so that means the first project is something like this. Now about dead code, you need to Google it more and make sure that you are really getting all the points about dead code analysis. So you can use Firefly, and to learn more about it you can go for the PyCon India 2017 videos. Right, if you type on Google, maybe you will find some videos about this. So it's like PyCon India 2017. So here is like the point when the first time Firefly was discussed. What is dead code analysis and how you can use this same thing in python. So it was in Delhi actually, so you can cross check the videos similarly. All right, so Priyank Agrawal to everyone, difference between web browser and web crawler. Priyank, web browser is something like we are using here. It's web browser. But what is web crawler? When I'm typing for such some topics, let's say Ashutosh Singh, alright? When I'm typing something, Google is showing me some recommendations, but when I hit enter, right? When I hit enter, it is going to list me out by picking data from Google database. So the program which is like going to Google database and picking maximum information about me and listing those websites here where this particular human can be identified. So the job of a crawler is to go to the Google database, pick that something, and you can just do the same thing here. So web browser is the point by which we can search, and web crawler is the thing which will take your data, go to Google or whatever search engine you are using, and it will take data for you. Alright, so this is like how we can analyze the web crawler thing. Alright, so I guess it's okay, perfectly fine. So yeah, now the second thing we are going to use here is, because generally we need to work on very efficiently on modules, or people call it in Python language like is libraries. So we are going to discuss about the module and the library. Both are the same thing in Python programming language, right? So here we will discuss how to create the library and how to use it, and the most important part, how module is working, right? How module is working behind the scene. So module is something, because these days Python is more being involved by people in data science. Alright, and apart from data science, we are also using the same language in the cloud computing or big data Hadoop. So what the community people did, or doing the same thing also, they are creating some libraries. By using those library, you can use and analyze something like this. So that means we are going to discuss about the module, and module is all about using Python internal feature. That means let me make one program, right? And I'm using this like particular thing here. Again, I'm using gedit for you, and let's say choice.py. So here I am using python2 actually, or maybe python3 also. People who are using Windows, Microsoft, they can use python 2 or 3 like this also. And here, because in Python we can comment the code in multiple line by using this triple quotes. It's multi-line comment. I'm using here press 1 to check current time Alright, only time, current time, and press 2 for search web browser name, and press 3 to start with graphical analysis. Press 4 to find all website links, and press 5 to go for web browser creation. Right, so there are a number of ways to do the same thing, but I'm using multi-line command to press 6 to check all currently login website with your browser. Alright, I'm saving all these things into one variable called data. When I use this, so I will prefer print data thing. Alright, so that means as of now I have written this code where we need to build something like this. So by using this particular code, you will be able to understand why we need to use module in Python, right? So if I run this as of now by using python2, the choice.py, it is going to print me everything like this. Alright, because white color is really not good for me, so I'm going to put this text, this background is I'm going to choose here is like black. Alright, so now because we have written here these things, now to take input from user in Python, we can use input function, and we can store everything in variables choice, right? And if I want to print it back, so user choice is comma choice, right? So it is something like this. If I'm going to hit this, I'm choosing here like 3, choice is 3. Alright, one more thing I want to check here, what is the type of your choice variable, because generally we are using this data, so we are going to use the same thing. Hit 5. So by default the class of the choice is string. Alright, so now because when I talk about time, by pressing 1 I want to really print the current time of something. So about time, it is the entity of your operating system, and operating system getting about time updates from your BIOS battery. Under BIOS we have CMOS battery here, so here time is like being stored by system. So we are using Python here, and by using Python programming language we are going to get the data from this operating system. Operating system is going to call this particular program, and this particular program is going to call this. So I mean, do we have something like this by which we can directly communicate with this battery, so that the time and whatever extra thing we can have here, we can grab the same thing from that CMOS to the Python. So it's very easy, right? So rather than going in OS, then BIOS, then CMOS, we can directly define here. So Python open source community people have written these things. That is there any library in Python which is independent to the operating system and which can directly calculate the time from CMOS battery. So this library or this thing already been written by Python community, and the library for getting time from your CMOS battery or something where we can store the time is known as time. So this is the library name. So let's say if I want to use any library in Python programming language, the good idea is like to import them. So here I'm using import function in Python to make it very clear, because I'm not going to use these print values, so I'm commenting all these things as of now, right? 2-line comment, and now I'm going to write here the choice thing under if choice is equals to, because we are getting data in a string. So like this. Now I'm printing back under time function. Actually we have one module or one under time library, we have one function, that is current time, and else we are doing this thing, that is invalid option in the string, because we are using Python 3, so we need to like make it like this. Let's check the same thing. Alright, so I'm now closing this text editor. I'm going to write here Python 3 choice. If I'll hit enter, it is going to print Monday, Feb 19, this and this. But as per my question, it was only time, so we need only this thing. So what we can do actually, because we have this amount of data, so what we can do, we can store this data into some variable, let's say status. Alright, and if I'll check the type of status, right, by using print function, if I'll check the type of data by using print function, so it would be something like invalid time. Okay, so let me make it correct. We don't need one extra thing. Alright, so I'm pressing 1. It is string, because string can be like splitted into number of variable. So I'm splitting the status variable and printing this back. That means the output we want to have only the time 1. It is now divided into number of element, and the ultimate data converted from string to list, as we know already. And we have 0, 1, 2, 3. The third element of list is our time. So from status we are going to use here the third, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, that means 4th. Alright, so it's 0, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3. Now if you are going to hit enter here, it is like printed back the timing part. Alright, that means we have converted our string into list, and from that list we are getting the fourth element by using the same thing. So it's very simple, because we want only exact things, so we need to define the code also, right? So is this a particular code is very much okay for you people, especially who are really not familiar with the prior Python programming language? So does this code, please make sure you have the practice of all these things is very much okay for you. Just a message from your side that yes, it is okay for you. Nikhil Agrawal, Priyank and Jadeep Kodra. Alright, Pushpendra. Okay, that means maximum people are like, it's pretty okay for. The people who are really not getting this code, you can please ask. I can repeat the same thing, or the particular function you are not getting, so you can do the same thing, right? So it's very straightforward actually, but still, if you have any problem, you can write the same code. Otherwise, just give some times to yourself, and we are going to do here, right? So now in here we have covered two things: how to use modules in Python programming language, like by using import, and how to use if statement, because we need to define more if. So the next if statement we can define it like this. Elif means, like, it's very much similar to else if in C programming language. If choice is equals to like 2, so you can have the same thing. And to search crawler name, so I'm using here few statement. Google web crawler name is Google bot, right? So you need to search actually. I'm just writing here +2. Okay, what we are missing here is not defined, so we don't need to even define this as a variable. Alright, so we are defining in this particular way. I hit 2. So the web crawler used by Google is Google bot, and that is very popular web crawler actually. And similarly you need to perform all these tasks, right? So because the lack of time or something, we are like wrapping this session till now, as of now today. Tomorrow we'll start a bit early, around 9:20 or something, but it will be around like 1.5 hour session for tomorrow. And the topics, I'm just letting you know, we are going to cover here few modules, web crawling related, and this is also we are going to cover like parsing of data, parsing of HTML data from website using Python, and creating your own module, right? The third thing we are going to use like using compiler and analyzing dead code. So all these will be discussed tomorrow. That will be around 1.5 hours. But for you, because we have discussed about these things, so make sure you have this first project in your mind, creating a browser. Read more about this and how to like make all other options available for you, especially so how we can work on this particular project. So we'll meet by the same time around 9:20 as I discussed. Yeah, around 9:20 or max 9:25 the session will be starting. So let me make this